Hello class, today we're going to learn division with decimals. We are on page 275 in our arithmetic books. We have already learned how to divide a whole number to a whole number. We have learned how to do a double digit division. Now we're going to learn how to divide with decimals. So we are on page 275. There is one rule that we do have to follow as we are dividing with decimals. The rule that we have to follow says that when dividing a decimal by a whole number, place the decimal point in the quotient directly above the decimal point in the dividend. So that's the first step that we are going to do. We are going to place the decimal point in the quotient directly above the decimal point in the dividend. After that, we're just going to divide as usual. Let me go ahead and give you an example. I have 17 divided by 3.57. The rule says place the decimal point in the quotient directly above the decimal point from the dividend. So I have my decimal point right here, my dividend. What I'm going to do, I'm going to place the decimal point directly above for my quotient. So my decimal point is going to go right there. As you can see, that is my first step. What's my second step? I'm just going to divide as usual. So I'm dividing 17 divided by 357. So my first step, how many times can 17 go into 3? That's 0 times. So I'm going to place 0. Now let's go to move on. How many times can 17 go into 35? That's twice. So we know that 17 can go into 35 2 times. So let's go ahead and multiply. 17 times 2. 2 times 7 is 14. I carry the 1. 2 times 1, 2 plus 1, 3. I'm going to subtract. It's going to give me 35 minus 34. That's 1. And I bring down the 7. Now let's go ahead and do our last step. 17. How many times can 17 go into 17? That's 1 time. I'm going to place the 1 right there. And 17, subtract 17 minus 17 is 0. So my final answer is 0.21. As you can see, it is just like double digit division, or it's just like multiplying a whole number to a whole number. But all what I'm doing, I'm just changing the first step. And that first step is going to be adding my decimal point to the quotient. So let me go ahead and show you another example. And my next example is going to be 8 divided by 2.48. 8 divided by 2.48. Let me go ahead and ask you, what is the first step? What are you going to do as you're dividing a whole number to a decimal? That is correct. You're going to place the decimal point directly above the decimal point from the dividend. So I'm going to place my decimal point right there. And my next step is going to be just divide as usual. Just think like you are dividing a whole number to a whole number. So I'm dividing 8 divided by 248. First off, how many times can 8 go into 2? That's 0 times, so I'm going to place 0. How many times can 8 go into 24? That's 3 times, so I'm going to place that 3. 8 times 3 equals 24. And subtract. 24 minus 24 equals 0. I bring down the 8. Now, how many times can 8 go into 8? That is once. So 8 times 1 equals 8. I subtract, and that will give me 0. And my final answer is 0.31. So you are going. So that is dividing decimals, dividing with decimals. Your class for today is going to be page 275. You're going to do all page 275. Goodbye.